Okay, so fat makes you fat, right? So we've been hearing that low-fat mantra for 30 plus years. All I have to say to that is, Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. Does anybody out there remember the Brady Bunch? Well, I do. How successful has that been? Beautiful people, we are larger and we suffer from more chronic disease than ever before. Today, I am giving you 6 healthy fat foods that not only take you further away from chronic disease, but are waist slimming as well. Stick with me. Hey there, beautiful people. This is Lindy Ford, registered dietitian, clinical and functional nutritionist, and nutrition detective. So please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Also, ring that bell and you'll be notified of new videos coming up. And our mission here is really simple. It's to inspire you by revealing the truth about health and nutrition that leads you to greater freedom. And I counsel patients all over the US, just leading them to greater freedom. And if you want to check out my Google reviews, please do that. Today, we are talking about 6 healthy, high-fat, waist-slimming foods. The old way of thinking was calories in, energy out. And low-fat products have been touted for years because they are less calorie dense, but they have gotten us into a lot of problems. Calories do count, but only to a certain extent. If you strictly count calories, you're going to be in big trouble because studies show that you are not going to be able to keep the weight off for long term. Most people, not everyone, but most people can't. You're not going to be successful. You're probably going to gain the weight back because fat provides so much satiety and vitamin and mineral absorption, which you need. And I'm going to link a link below just to give you all of the benefits of healthy fat. Now, the reason that we've been told that fat is bad is because it has twice the calories, yes it does, of the other macros, of proteins, of carbohydrates. But we don't eat the equivalent of let's say a carbohydrate like a bagel. The equivalent, if you were to eat a bagel, the equivalency in calories of butter is almost 3 tablespoons. I don't usually eat 3 tablespoons of butter at the same time, but I can down 2 bagels real easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm leaving my 2 favorite high-fat, healthy foods to the end, and I'm going to actually intersperse 2 surprises in here today that I have never talked about before. So number 1, healthy fat, waist slimming food is olives. Now, and of course, if you want to lump in the cold pressed, you need cold pressed olive oil, you can. They're rich in antioxidants and plant compounds. And they are really the key component of the Mediterranean diet, which I love. Anybody who wants to start a Mediterranean restaurant here where I am, please, I will be your first customer. Please come here. 75% of their fat is monounsaturated fat, which is actually called oleic acid, which we know by studies decreases inflammation. They're low in carbs, and there are hundreds of varieties. Go to an olive bar and just sample them. Also, what I like are those really large olives that are stuffed in with garlic or feta cheese. Those are wonderful. And if you haven't tried tapenades, I don't know if you've tried them or not, but they're like an olive spread and they are divine, and they're made all different kinds of ways. So try those as well. Number 2 are macadamia nuts. Now, I've never really I talk about nuts a lot, almonds and walnuts all the time, but I've never talked about macadamia nuts. And again, these are waist slimming, my beautiful people. They are high in antioxidants and plant compounds, and we know by studies, the more antioxidants and more of these kind of plant compounds, the slimmer you're going to be. But the big waistline slimmer is that their fat, again, is a monounsaturated fat that is going to help you lose that waistline, which is so important to your health. Number 3, is grass-fed butter. Now, most of you know that butter has come out of timeout. Everybody knows that butter's kind of back, right? But grass-fed butter is an even better choice. Now, it will say grass-fed on the label. Organic Valley makes one. Of course, we know of Kerrygold, but there are other ones out there. And I just found one at Aldi that was even less expensive than Kerrygold, but these are grass-fed. Now, butter does make food taste better, and it increases nutrient absorption, so you can put a little bit of it on your vegetables, which is a great idea. But grass-fed butter is even more healthy, and this is the reason, because it has the number one thing that it has is 5 times the conjugated linoleic acid. And that's actually with all grass-fed products. Down the line, they have a lot more. Grass-fed beef has 20 times more conjugated linoleic acid. Now, why is that so important? First of all, it's linked to the prevention of bone loss. It fights cancer. It's anti-inflammatory. But here's the big one for you and your waistline. It helps the body to build muscle instead of storing fat. So that's a great thing. Grass-fed butter. So number 4 is dark chocolate. And I have never talked about that one either, but there is a big caveat to dark chocolate. Now, it needs to be 70 to 85% cacao or cocoa. Okay, so you need to look at that. And also, I would probably buy it organic. Now, I do like dark chocolate. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm always honest with you all. I'm always honest with you. I like milk chocolate better. I'm not even a really big chocolate person. Sometimes when I need a little something, I'll eat a little square of dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is packed with these antioxidant type of compounds like polyphenols and catechins and flavonoids that are going to help your body. They have a decent amount of fiber, and we also know that the people who eat, this is backed up by studies, beautiful people who eat the most fiber weigh less. Okay, so we need more of that in our diets. They have a lot of fat, and they have the dreaded saturated fat. But it's not going to hurt you. So does butter, because the saturated fat is stearic and palmitic, and they really have no effect on your blood lipids. Also, in equal amount, they have oleic acid, which is a monounsaturated fat. But we must be careful. Here's my caveat. We must be careful. Only small amounts, because what can increase your blood lipids is all the carbohydrate and sugar that is in cocoa, because you're not going to eat it without sugar. So a small amount would be a really helpful choice, but not a huge chocolate bar. Drum roll, please. Okay, the next 2 are my absolute favorite high-fat foods that are going to help you lose fat on your body. Number 5 are pastured eggs. Okay, eggs, hands down, are one of the most nutritious foods that we have. You don't need to worry about the cholesterol. I still hear people talking about that, and I'm like, okay, it's not 1995 anymore. We know that this cholesterol doesn't affect our lipid very much, okay? But pastured, now this is something important to remember. Pastured is not cage-free. All right, they're different. Pastured means that the little chickie gets to go outside and do what little chickens do, and that is peck around. They do get fed other types of foods that the farmer's going to feed them, but they also get to be a chicken. They just get to be a chicken, and they get to peck around, and they eat bugs, and their eggs are much more nutritious when they get to do that. Okay. Now, this is how nutritious they are. Compared to a conventional egg, a grass-fed or a pastured egg has 3 times the omega-3s. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatories. They're so important for your brain, for your circulation, for everything. 7 times the beta-carotene, 4 times the vitamin D, 5 times the vitamin E, and a ton of selenium, which I'm going to link a link below about thyroid, the foods that boost your thyroid. When your thyroid's boosted, your metabolism is boosted. Also, they're very high protein, and that also helps with metabolism. And then number 6, and I know this is going to be a real big surprise to all of you, because number 6 is avocados. Okay, I know. I can't stop talking about them. I just won't stop talking about them. And I've heard patients come into my office saying that their healthcare practitioner told them not to eat a whole avocado. And I just want to say, well, they need to get out of 1995 because that's ridiculous. An avocado a day melts the inches away. Beautiful people, it is a big old fat pill that melts fat on your body. It's also a huge, big vitamin pill with over 20 vitamins and minerals in it. It's a kind of fat that melts fat on your body. Yes, some of it is saturated, but most of it is monounsaturated. There's some saturated fat in there that is not going to make you fat, okay? It has a great amount of fiber. Remember, thinner people have more fiber in their lives. And the biggest thing, the biggest magic thing about avocados is that they are the #1 food that has the most potassium. And potassium's a game changer. Beautiful people, if you incorporate more potassium into your lives, you're going to be thinner. Potassium-rich foods are so important, and we don't get enough of it. We are getting about less than half of what we really need optimally. So get more potassium. I'm going to link the potassium video below as well as the avocado video. I'm also going to link, here's what I want you to do. I want you to watch those videos and see how important that nutrient is and how great the other benefits of avocados are. And I'm going to link a playlist, and I want you to watch that because it's nutrients that work, and it's just going to benefit you. It's all about you, and it's all about your health. So please watch that playlist. And remember, just remember that everyone deserves the freedom to live their best life. I will see you soon.